What's going on, my Jets family? Good to see you guys. You notice anything different? I got my Zach Wilson jersey. I'm excited. It came. It was my Christmas gift from my mother-in-law. We'd ordered it. It came. I'm so excited. You guys can see it. I'm rocking my Zach Wilson jersey, baby. Oh, man. I am so excited it came. Love it. I appreciate all you guys being here. You're here for the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. You got me, Harrison Glazer. Appreciate all my Jets family. Appreciate all you guys out there. I'm glad you're tuning in. Let's get into it. So before we get started, if you can, if you haven't yet, if you have, love you, appreciate you. If you haven't, if you could please subscribe to the channel, you can do so by clicking on the logo in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So let's get into it. So today's show is all about the new it's about the New York Jets, but it's about the draft. Appreciate Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports. See you there, my man. Saying what's up, Harrison? What's up? Appreciate you, my brother. Bring your comments as we go, guys, because it's draft time. Draft is coming upon us. The Super Bowl is just about 2 weeks away. A week and a half, 2 weeks. The Super Bowl is basically 2 weeks away. Free agency is going to be starting, but it's all about the draft. As we know, good teams. Joe Douglas said it. For so many things I loved about Joe when he came in, but one of the main things saying you build your team through the draft. You build your team young through the draft. You cultivate talent and you rise it up. And that is what Joe Douglas does. He finds that talent and he rises it up. And I can't wait. So let's get into it. Again, appreciate all you guys there. Appreciate you tuning in. So, I think a lot of Jet fans would agree with me. A lot of Jet fans would like to see either Aidan Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeaux fall to the fourth pick. And it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible that one of the two of them can fall to the fourth pick, especially because you got guys like Kyle Hamilton, who crazy to think, a safety could go that high because as we know, safeties aren't paid premium players. But like we're going to talk about with Kyle Hamilton, because he's a guy I got to talk about, he ain't just a safety. This kid does a lot. Just like Tyler Linderbaum is not just a center, Kyle Hamilton is not just a safety. So you got guys like Kyle Hamilton. You got guys like Neal. People say Neal could even be Daniel Jeremiah. We talked about it here just I think it was a week or two ago. We talked about how Neal was Daniel Jeremiah's number one consensus pick off the board. He had him going as the top player, top overall pick, period, off the board. Guess it makes sense because the team needs a tackle. But if that happens, some of the edge rushers fall. And as we've talked about here, neither Aidan Hutchinson nor Kayvon Thibodeaux are, what you would call that. We've talked about it, that Von Miller type, that Myles Garrett, like that consensus. This guy's unbelievable. Like he should be the first overall pick, period. Kayvon was that for a while, but people have watched Neal. People have watched Hamilton. He's a talented player, and we're going to get into that. So either one, I prefer Hutchinson. You guys know I've talked about that just the other week. If you missed the episode, please check it out. I'm a big fan of Hutchinson. One of my biggest things I'm going to tell you about each of these guys, going to show you in just a second, but I feel like either one has a good chance of falling to 4. I do. I feel like, again, guys like Neal, maybe Aquanu can ink his way up that high. I mean, it'd be the top guard tackle taken. I mean, technically he's a tackle. A lot of people say play guard, but yeah, to be fair, he's a tackle, so he could go that high. They say Neal could go 1. Hamilton in that mix. There's a good chance with the 4th pick, one of them will fall potentially. And if they do, that's it, man. That's it. So a little bit quick take on both these guys. I've been watching them. Again, neither one is that guy who's been performing at an insanely high level in college football for multiple years. That's not the case. But Kayvon Thibodeaux has been damn impressive for the last 2 years. And Hutchinson was one of the best players in college football last year. Like, unbelievable. This kid is powerful. So my quick take on both of these guys. So I see a lot of you guys here. Appreciate you. Jeremy points out he's stuck at work interviewing prospective teachers. I'm sorry, bro. I can't help you. I mean, I'm working here on the island. I think you're up in Boston, I think, if I remember correct. I know you're up there. Not really, be honest, not interested in coming up to that area. Sorry. I mean, hopefully you pick a good teacher. I'm with you, but hey, man, you guys tune in later. I appreciate you. Sorry you're stuck there, Jeremy. But Adrenaline points out, man, if we can get Hutchinson or Thibodeaux, what an instant upgrade on our defense. And absolutely an instant upgrade. So my quick takes on each of these guys. When I watch Hutchinson play, he really reminds me of like a more raw TJ Watt, more raw Nick Bosa type. Like that's what I see. I see a very powerful edge rusher, a guy that's just physically imposing on offensive lines and very athletic too, but his physicality and his strength and his power at the point of attack. I just felt a little bit, it reminds me of, again, two dominant guys in the NFL. He has one amazing year of production. I mean, Hutchinson, I have the numbers in front of me now, but it was amazing what he did last year. He reminds me of a raw version of like a TJ Watt, Nick Bosa type. Thibodeaux has a nonstop motor. Like I've watched film of this kid, and the more I watch him, I love his heart. Like this kid, he goes down, he gets right back up. He tries right, he goes left. He's going to go over you. He's going to go to the right of you. If he has to, he's going to go under you. His feet don't stop until he touches the quarterback. It's like watching, those kids on the playground that are like all over the place until they get to base. Like that's what I love about watching Thibodeaux. He has a non-stop motor. This dude is just, again, he'll try left, he'll try right, he'll go around, he'll maybe jump you, he'll go under you, you put him down, he'll get back up. He's going to keep going. He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop till he gets to the quarterback. That's it, or he gets to the ball carrier. He doesn't stop. He keeps trying, and I love that about him. So that's my quick take on those two guys. Hutchinson, again, that more powerful, physically imposing guy, and Thibodeaux, just electric, nonstop motor. So that's my take on those two guys. But so that's what I'd like to see, if either one of those two fall to 4, that's it. I mean, that's an easy option right there. Easy choice. One of those two guys is there. Great option. Now, I've had a couple of draft scenarios, but as you guys know, I've been pretty strict on this next one. Haven't budged on it. And my haven't budged is Tyler Linderbaum at 10. Period. That's it. Just period. Tyler Linderbaum at 10. Period. You guys know we've talked about him so much till I'm blue in the face. So many facts about him. Had a whole episode dedicated to him. Please check it out if you haven't. But a quick take on that. I've mentioned it before. I haven't seen an offensive lineman that manhandles, just physically manhandles and puts down gigantic 300-plus pound men like Tyler Linderbaum does since Quentin Nelson. And we remember Quentin Nelson is a physical beast. This guy just dominates people, and he was the 6th overall pick. So I point out, remember, you check out the episode with a quick take on it. If he was a guard, if Linderbaum was a guard, he'd go 6, easy, maybe even higher. So it's not a question, not an argument. We talked about it before. If he's still there at 10, you sprint to the podium. That's it. If Linderbaum's still there at 10, you sprint to the podium, you run up, and I don't know if this next one can happen. I don't. I think people are going to see what I see in him, and he's going to go quite high. So I think I'm a little crazy with this one, but I want it. So again, these are my favorite scenarios, my dream scenarios. And my dream is if the Jets get that top edge and then they get Linderbaum at 10, can Chris Olave fall to 35? That is my magic. My magic is it possible in some realm of the world that Chris Olave falls to 35? Because Chris Olave is an unbelievable talent. He is a plug-in next to Elijah Moore. The two of them, Corey Davis could play in the slot. Olave, Elijah, they unbelievable 3 right there. You have a top 3 unbelievable wide receiver tandem, and Moore and Olave are 2 young guys that'll be around for years to build around. Talk about getting Zach Wilson weapons. Now, the reason I'm hesitant to him being there at 35 is I have a surprise take for you guys. And I know a lot of people are going to say I'm crazy on this, but we talked about this. You guys remember last year when I had my episodes. People are like, well, your draft analysis is different than everyone else's. Well, yeah. I'm giving you my analysis. I'm not reading what Daniel Jeremiah said and just repeating it. So this is my surprise take. I think Chris Olave is better than Garrett Wilson. I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. And I've watched these two kids play, and I feel like Wilson gets a lot, I wouldn't say more opportunity, but from what I've seen, he has the ability to flash more. I think Olave is just as good, if not better. And personally, I think Olave is better. I think Chris Olave is the better of those two wide receivers. I think he can go as high as like 12 or 10 or 15. I don't think he can be there at 35. So I'll be honest. This is a dream. This is a dream. Can Chris Olave be there at 35? And if he is, if we get the top edge, top offensive lineman in Tyler Linderbaum, and then we get a top wide receiver in Olave, my heart stops. Like, that's it. I'm dead on the spot. Cardiac arrest. Can't take it. Get the paddles ready. Like, draft one. That's it. The draft is over. Everything else, Joe Douglas can close his eyes from that point and just pull names out of a hat. He can make up names. I don't care. Make shit up. Draft Billy McCluanahan. I don't know. But that's it. Draft one. Draft one. If that somehow happens, that is my ideal, unbelievable scenario right there. That's my number one, that the Jets get one of those two top edges, either Linderbaum or either Thibodeaux or Hutchinson at 4, Linderbaum at 10, and again, that's a lock. We talked about that's a lock, but then Olave at 35. Oh, it's over. It's over. So I gave you guys my surprise take. I do think Olave is the better of the wide receivers. I'll be honest. I'm a very, very big fan of Olave. I was last year. I thought when he was going to go last year, he was a guy I really wanted. In fact, and I didn't not like Elijah Moore, but I'll be honest, I wanted Olave more until he decided he wasn't going to, go in the draft and return another year. So I really like him. Now, on to some other interesting points about draft prospects I really like and questions we have to ask ourselves. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, where will tight end Trey McBride go? That's a very interesting question that we need to think about. Where will tight end Trey McBride go? Now, Trey McBride's story is very interesting because it reminds me of like me last year with Creed Humphrey. So Trey McBride has kind of been all over the place. Some have gone as far to say he's a second-round pick. I've heard some people say he's a day three pick potentially, but he really is the best tight end in this draft. If you watch him, especially at the Senior Bowl, he's definitely the best tight end in this draft. This kid is unbelievably impressive. So I feel like the story with McBride is like there's been, and you guys know who you are, there's been a handful of people that have been like, look at McBride, look at McBride. McBride's the best tight end in this draft. And the majority of people are like, okay. And then like a couple of months later, look at McBride. He's the best tight end in this draft. Majority, okay. Then finally the majority's coming around. Oh my God, Trey McBride is like the best tight end in this draft. And those other people are like, dude, dude, what? I've been saying that for months, and I think some of you guys are that. Feel free to chime in because I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people for months now, a minority saying how great Trey McBride is. And the majority of people are like, he could be the top tight end, maybe not, maybe later on. Now he seems to be the consensus guy, and all those people are like, where have you been? Why aren't you listening? So Trey McBride's a very interesting person, potentially. He could go toward the end of the first round. He could go like mid-late 20s potentially. If you watch his tape, the kid's awesome. The kid is awesome. He's an everything tight end. Plug it in day one, ready to go, ready to kill it. I don't know where he's going to go. So that is the $1 million question. Where will Trey McBride go? If he's there at 38 and the Jets just got Hutch, Linderbaum, Olave, and then McBride, you guys are going to have to resuscitate me. That's just how it is. Send someone to my apartment to bring me back to life because my heart, I'm done. If that happens, I don't think I can take it. That'll be it. But some say McBride could go at 35, at 38, even later. But now people are realizing, oh, hey, he's the best tight end in this draft. And again, you have those people going, dude, but saying that he's the best tight end in this draft. And now I've seen him in the mid-20s, in the end of the first round. So he's an interesting candidate of where is Trey McBride going to go. Anthony sounds like he was one of them. Anthony's like, I love McBride. He's the one, yelling from the loudspeaker, where have you been? How have you not seen it? But yeah, it seems like for a while, people were disrespecting McBride for a very long time. And then they've watched him recently, including on Saturday. And they're like, oh, Okay. So appreciate all you guys here. We got Zachary. What's good? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here. Anthony saying, love that jersey. I got it in white. Appreciate it, man. I just got it. I'm so excited. It was my Christmas gift. Took a little while to come, but I'm so excited. Love it, man. I got my Zach jersey. I'm ready to go. I'm so happy about it, man. So happy. But where's Trey McBride going to go? Like, that's the $1 million question. And I honestly can't answer that because, tight ends are quality, especially top receiving options like McBride is, including being, doing everything well. But he's an excellent receiving weapon. Maybe a team realizes that and takes him like 20 some. I don't know. I mean, you just don't know. So I'd like to see us get him. So these are my top scenarios, but I have backups. As you guys know, you got to have backups. You got to have alternative plans because you never know how a draft's going to go. You never know who's going to go where. And let's say someone trades up for a quarterback in the top. Anything that happens can change everything, changes the whole dynamic of the draft. They're like dominoes. The wrong one falls, everything goes differently. So here's my other scenarios here. So I feel if Hutchinson or Thibodeaux do go before 4, let's say they do, I think there's a decent chance Kyle Hamilton's still there. And that's why I mentioned earlier, I said I was going to talk about Hamilton. I think, again, that Hamilton could go in the top 4 because I'm going to mention in a sec that he's more than just a safety. But, excuse me, and that would, I think, make either Hutch or Thib available. But let's say they both go in the top 4. Well, then again, Kyle Hamilton is a safety. They don't usually go 5. They're in the top 5. There's a chance he's there. Taking him at 4, Kyle Hamilton, you guys remember, I've mentioned it the last couple of weeks. He reminds me of Trevon Moehrig in last year's draft. And if you don't remember my take on Trevon Moehrig, for those of you guys who haven't been here, when I watched Trevon Moehrig play, when I first started diving into his film, I'm like, this dude is really awesome in coverage, like man coverage, zone coverage, reading the ball, like making jump. Like, how is he not a cornerback? Like, his press is like, I don't get it. Then I watch him play at the line and he murders a dude like a running back and like puts him down. It's like, oh, that's why he's a safety. Kyle Hamilton reminds me of that. He's not just a safety. So Kyle Hamilton is more than just a safety, especially with how great our young cornerback situation looks. Bryce Hall, lockdown cornerback 1. You guys remember how I feel on him. I'd said that, in his rookie year, he's going to show how great he is. I felt he looked so good that I thought he'd be a lockdown corner CB1 this year. He was. I'm convinced after what I've seen in the progression he's made in the short amount of time he's had, he's going to be a top corner next year. He's going to be a top 15, at worst, I think, top 25 cornerback next year. So Bryce Hall, CB1, Brandon Echols, slept on as a CB2, Michael Carter II, emerging slot cornerback, star slot corner. You plug Kyle Hamilton into that, ooh, that secondary just got good. That secondary just got really, 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 really good. So I prefer, like I was saying, Hutch or Thib. But if they don't go, if they go before 4, I think there's a good chance Hamilton falls. So my other thing I'd like to go with, let's say again the Jets miss out on Huntington or Thib at 4. So again, my take before was if they miss Hutch or Thib at 4, they take Kyle Hamilton. So now Hamilton's the pick at 4. If they missed on Thib at Sam Fast, if they missed on Thib and Hutch, there we go, then Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson, I don't think he's going to make it to 35, honestly. So I say then Jermaine Johnson at 35 if he's there. And you guys remember for a few weeks now, since I've been diving into the edge rushers and watching him play, he's the consensus number 3 to me. Like, I don't get it. Jermaine Johnson is, in my opinion, without question, the consensus 3rd best edge rusher in this draft. And again, in my opinion, you could even argue that he's potentially as good as Hutch or potentially as good as Thib. Jermaine Johnson is a massively slept on player in this year's draft. And if you don't believe me, go on Twitter. I put up a couple of his highlights that really blew me away. He is just, before I mentioned how Hutch reminds me of like a, very, very raw, very, very raw, like TJ Watt and Nick Bosa, physically domineering end type, or how Thib reminds me with a nonstop motor. I feel like Jermaine Johnson's like a combo of the two, I'll be honest. I feel like Jermaine Johnson's got that beast brute power, but he's also unbelievably athletic with a nonstop motor as well. So, man, Jermaine Johnson is slept on. he is massively slept on. So if we miss out on one of those 2 top edge rushers, you take Kyle Hamilton at 4 instead. You get Jermaine Johnson, hopefully at 35. But remember, Linder's a lock. Linder's a lock. Tyler Linderbaum at 10, period. There's no other pick there. We talked about why. There's no other pick there. So I mentioned again that I think Jermaine Johnson is without question the 3rd best edge rusher in this draft. Now, let's say the Jets miss out on Trey McBride because, again, I have no idea where he's going to go. This guy is a wild card right now. I have no – again, people watch him his last game Saturday. They're like, man, that kid is an excellent receiving option. Maybe they take him 18, 21 in the 30s. Maybe he makes it to 35. Maybe he makes it to 38. I have no freaking idea. So let's say the Jets miss out on Trey McBride. They need to get 1 or even 2 of these tight ends. I love Charlie Kolar. If you guys remember, these are, and if you want, check it out from last year's, my draft eval from last year. These were 3 tight ends I really liked in last year's draft. All 3 of these guys were considered at the time, later round guys. Kolar, Ruckert, and Ferguson. So smart, man. All 3 of them were so smart. And that's just, you want smarts in a football player. So the 3 of them last year were all considered like 5th, 6th round picks, maybe 4th. The 3 of them decided to return. Now Kolar is projected to go as high as the 2nd round. Ruckert's projected to go as high as the 2nd round. And Ferguson's projected to go as high as the 3rd round. So bravo, gentlemen. Bravo. Whether it was just, reading the tight end board and saying next year is a weaker class, or just, deciding we're going to go back and kill it for another year, which Kolar did. Guys, Kolar, I love all the guys on this list, but Kolar is one of my favorite. I loved Kolar last year. I felt like in his back on 2020 that he was slept on. Just very slept on. Well, he proved it this year. He proved it by being one of the best tight ends in college football. So, man, I like me some Charlie Kolar. I really, really like me some Charlie Kolar. If they can walk away with Kolar and Ruckert, Kolar and Ferguson, worst case, Ruckert and Ferguson, man, I love it. I love it. So those are my draft scenarios. Those are my favorite NFL draft scenarios for the New York Jets. I hope you guys enjoyed them. That's what I'd like to see happen. A lot of moving parts because, again, I hate, I've always said this before. I hate when people just have boom, 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 1, 2, 3 guys. Well, you never know how it's going to play out. We've talked about this. The draft is a crapshoot. Someone trades up. Someone trades back for more picks. You never know what's going to happen. Changes everything. So I got a couple of, I gave you guys my ideal scenario. And out of that ideal scenario, we then gave, what happens if it falls apart. If it falls apart, this is what I'd like to see happen. So I appreciate all you guys. Love your guys' comments. Appreciate Vern. Vern's here. He's got the mugs. Cheers. I'm with you, bro. Like I said before, if the Jets can walk away, my ideal scenario, let's just pretend this can happen for a second. Let's just pretend that this can happen. My top ideal scenario is Hutchinson, Linderbaum, Olave, McBride. That is my ideal, right? That is my dream. That is my number 1 ideal dream scenario right there. We get those 4 guys again. You guys better send someone to the apartment. I'll put the address out on Twitter beforehand. I'm going to be dead. That'll be it. If we get those 4 guys, it's over. My heart stops. That is my absolute dream scenario. But again, as you guys saw, and if you missed it, please go back. We talked in detail about other options as well. Guys I really like, and gave, a quick take on each of the guys I like. A quick take on each of them. And I think you guys might find the Hutch and Thib one very interesting because it's a little different than the takes you've heard on them. Maybe you guys might agree with mine. So, again, appreciate all you guys. Anthony points out how we love McBride. I don't blame him, man. I don't blame you. Tony, appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Vern says I'll be rewatching. Appreciate you, my brother. Definitely check it out. So, again, guys, if you missed it, Zachary, though, points out, feel like everyone's sleeping on Daniel Barker. Maybe, man. Maybe. That's definitely a possibility. There's a lot of interesting guys in this draft, and I've started to dig a little deeper. You guys know I like to get into the later round guys that aren't looked at by some people, that are considered undrafted guys that I like in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. Because again, we've talked about this, with GMs. Everyone knows the top guys. Like, you can ask fans facts about the first 2 rounds of guys, they can spew you off a bunch of facts. The good GMs like Joe Douglas, the Michael Carter II, I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. All the later, Michael Carter in the 4th round, Brandon Eccles, the great GMs find the guys in the end of the draft. The great GMs from 4 on, they're the guys that that they find those guys that people are like, oh, I didn't expect him to go there. So I believe in Joe Douglas, man. I do. But Vern points out Ferguson impressed me the most at the Senior Bowl game. Best blocker. Could be, man. Can help his draft stock. Everyone's Senior Bowl helps draft stock. That's what Senior Bowl does. We talked about Senior Bowl, specifically Jermaine Johnson. If you guys didn't check it out, he helped his draft stock. He wanted to show people, hey, look at me. I'm telling you guys, I've been saying it for a little while now. Jermaine Johnson is the consensus, easily 3rd guy edge rusher in this draft. Probably could go really high potentially, and you can make the conversation of him in the conversation with guys like Hutch and Thib. You really can. But yes, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being a part of the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. As you guys know, we're here every Monday at 7 p.m. I got my Zach Wilson jersey. Let me take off the banner to show you guys because I'm so stoked. There we go. I got my Zach Wilson jersey. I'm so excited. I love it. I'm ready to go. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for taking part of the podcast. I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. Again, always bring the comments. Bring your comments, bring ideas. Plan on doing some mock drafts. Remember, when we do mock drafts here, our mock drafts are consensus mock drafts. We do them together. I'm not just, going to be the authoritarian. It's like, this is what we're going to do. I give you guys, my take. I'm like, I like this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and you guys pick. So that's going to be fun to do. We're going to do that. So I appreciate you guys again for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Look forward to seeing you guys, on next Monday. Super Bowl is going to be coming up in 2 weeks. It's going to be exciting. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Hope you guys take care. Our time is coming, baby. Let's go, and let's go Jets.